The Ringing Cedars, Series 30, Anastasia, Book 1, Vladimir Megre. On the way to the river, when Anastasia followed me to the motorboat, we sat down to rest and I asked her, "Anastasia, how will we raise our son?" "Try to gain insight, Vladimir, you can't raise it yet. And then when he first becomes aware that he is watching the world, you should not be next to him." I grabbed her shoulders and shook her. "You say that, how dare you? I don't understand where you came from such unusual conclusions. However, all this does not give you the right to decide everything yourself, violating all the laws of logic. The child is not only yours, but also mine. I want him to have a father, to get everything he needs and to be able to get an education. Understand that he does not need any material goods, as you see them. He will have everything from the very beginning. At a young age, he will receive so many messages and understand their meaning that education. Again, the way you see it, to be just ridiculous. It's the same as sending a great mathematician to school, in the first grade. You feel the urge to give a small child some kind of useless rattle, but he doesn't need it at all. You need her for your self-satisfaction. How good, caring I am. If you think that you will create good things and give your son a car or something else that is valued in you, then he can get all that himself, if he wants it. Think calmly about what exactly you can tell your son, what you can teach him, what you have done in your life that might interest him. Understand, Vladimir, when he begins to understand the universe, you will look like an underdeveloped being next to him. Would you like to look like a fool in the eyes of your son? The only thing that can bring you together is purity of intention, but this purity can only be achieved by a few in your world. You should strive to reach. So he will never find out about me. I will tell him about you, about your world, when he is able to find meaning in everything and when he can make decisions. What he will do, I don't know. Despair, pain, hurt, terrible foreboding, everything mixed in me. I wanted to hit that beautiful face of the intellectual and hermit with all my might. Everything is clear. Now everything is clear. Did you? Well, you had no one to sleep with in order to have a child. You didn't tickle yourself in the beginning, schemer. You played a nun. You needed a child. She would take off her sweater and scarf. And they would immediately look at you. You hadn't spun your web, wouldn't you confuse me? Of course. You need a man who dreams of a son. And you have achieved yours. Did you think of the child? On the son? Who is destined to live as a hermit? And did you think about me? That. I dreamed of a son. I dreamed that I would leave my work to him. Teach him business. I wanted to love him. And now how to live? To live and know that your tiny son is retreating powerless somewhere in the back of the taiga? No future. Fatherless. May your heart burst from that. You can't understand it, female of the forest. Maybe the heart will come to its senses and everything will be fine. Such pain will purify the soul, speed up the thought, will invite something to create. Anastasia spoke quietly. And such anger swirled in me, such anger. I was no longer in control of myself. I reached for the stick. I ran away from Anastasia and started hitting a small tree with all my might until the stick broke. Then I turned to the side, where Anastasia was standing and as soon as I saw her. Unbelievable, but the anger began to pass. It occurred to me, so didn't I lose control again and get angry? Just like the last time I cursed her. Anastasia stood leaning against a tree with her hand turned up, her head bowed as if resisting the gust of hurricane wind. Not getting angry at all anymore, I got closer and started looking around her. Now she clasped her hands to her chest, her body trembled slightly, she remained silent. Everything happened the way it happened. It was what it was. She will become a mother, when she said so. Her way of life. Thinking. You can't do that with her. But that's why she's physically quite strong. Benevolent. He knows nature, animals well. And she's smart. And yet she knows a lot about raising children. She wanted to talk about the children all the time. She will raise her son. She will raise him. November and the storm will pass. She doesn't care about them. He will still lift. He will bring up though. You have to somehow adapt to the circumstances. I will come to them in the summer, like on a country trip. It will not be possible in winter. And in the summer I will play with my son. When he grows up, I will tell him about people from big cities. I should apologize to her this time though. Sorry, Anastasia, I got upset again. She immediately answered, it is not your fault. Just don't blame yourself. Don't worry. You were worried about your son. You were worried he wouldn't be well. Because your son's mother is like an ordinary female. She does not know how to give real, human love. Just don't worry. Don't get excited. You said that because you didn't know anything about my love, dear.